Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, and especially you, nephew, welcome back to another Union Arena video. Now for today, what we got for you is the Cursed Spirits deck, or at least a version of the Cursed Spirits deck that I tried to build. I am going to let you know right now, I don't think this worked, but that's spoilers. For today, we only have 2 games for you. The sim just hasn't been working for me today. I tried at my lunch break and then afterwards and only got 2 actual games I could play, and now I just can't find a lobby, and it's getting late into the night, so I need to start somewhere. So yeah, we only got 2 games for you today, but before we go into the games, let's break down this deck list. Okay, so for our deck list, we only have 2 0 cost, the Transfigured Person and this Mahito Cursed Spirit. Mahito is also our raid target for this deck, one of our raid targets for this deck, with the Jogo. Now, normally, I believe Mahito has his own build. Let me go to these purple cards. There's a lot like this. This Junpei is also supposed to be in a Mahito deck, but the way that I built it was more relying on the removal rather than specifically honed in on Mahito, which I will get to in a second. Or I will get to at the end of the video, because this deck, I'm gonna be honest with y'all, just straight up, I don't think it worked. Or I don't think it works, at least the way that I built it. So there's some things that I would like to make changes in, but I'll get to the very end of the video before I go there. But outside of the 0 cost, or this Transfigured Person has an activate main ability, no trigger. Switch to resting and sideline this card. Choose up to 1 character on your opponent's front line, and it loses 1000 BP until the end of turn. So this is a pretty strong ability, especially in this deck where you will be constantly reviving this from the sideline, which it normally goes for using the ability, and it also procs other effects in this deck. But yeah, those are our 2 0 costs. For our next is this 1 cost Jogo. During your turn, if a character has been sidelined this turn due to its BP becoming 0 or less by an ability, this character gains 1000 BP. This effect really never happens. He's mainly here for the active trigger and an early Jogo to raid into. There's very low chance that I get this play out. I shouldn't say very low, because there are a lot of BP reducers without limits, so it is possible. It's just not frequent. And on top of that, this only goes from a 2000 to a 3000. So even if I do get that ability to go off, he's still not a super strong attacker. So he's better off just on your energy line, preparing for your raid Jogo. For our next cost, our 2 cost, we have this Geto. When played, you may sideline 1 other character on your field. If you do, look at the top 6 cards of your deck, reveal up to 2 Cursed Spirits affinity cards among them and add them to your hand. Replace the remaining cards into your sideline. So this is it's a pretty weird searcher, but it plays off of like the idea of this deck is sidelining your own characters to get extra effects. But I don't think that's a strong, at least how it's built now, it's not a really good, or at least the way I built this deck. I do have some ideas already of how I want to change it, but we'll get to that in a second. And then you also put the rest of the search into your sideline, which really sucks when you pick up one of these cards that you want to keep in your deck. I've searched, or I had this in the search and I had to drop it because he's not a Cursed Spirit. He has no affinity. So a little bit of give or take with this Geto. For our other 2 costs, we have this Mahito. It says during this turn, if a character on your field has been sidelined this turn, this character gains an extra energy generation, and then activate main, sideline 1 of your characters on your field other than Mahito. If you do, choose up to one character on your field with Cursed Spirit or Transfigured Human affinity, and it gains 1000 BP until the end of turn. So normally I am not using that second ability. You can to buff up your front line. I'm mainly using him for the double energy generation, proccing off of this transfigured person, because it doesn't mean, or the double energy generation does not come from his ability. It just comes from any other of your characters that's been sidelined this turn. So the second effect really isn't that strong. You are losing an entire body for just 1000 BP until the end of turn. So it's really not that strong. So I don't think I use it at all, or plan to use it at all playing this deck. For our 3 cost, we have this Mahito, which is also a double energy generator at base, and our color trigger for the deck. But activate main, if this is on the front line, sideline one character on your field other than Mahito. If you do, place the top 3 cards of your deck into your sideline and play one character with Transfigured Human affinity from your sideline active onto your field. So this card is pretty good. Yeah, the only downside is that you have to be on the front line to use this ability. It procs your sidelining your own character, so his ability will be active, and this Geto's ability will be active. But you lose a body, but you also gain a body back if you have one of these in your trash, and then you can because he comes in as active, you can instantly switch this to resting and use his ability again to reduce even more BP. So if you have it set up properly, you can play this to your front line, and if this is on your board, use this ability, trash him, give him -1 BP, use this ability, trash one of your other characters, bring him back out, and then you can decide whether you want to trash him again to give another -1000, or just leave him back on your energy line set up for the next turn. But I mainly use this to trash out like my searchers, or these Jogos that I don't need because I can't trash a Mahito for it. And that's the other downside of it, that there isn't a lot of targets in this deck that you want to hit. It's really only your searcher, or maybe this Jogo or this Jogo. But it's still, you still lose a body on your field, and that's the real super downside to this deck. But that's one of our 3 costs. Our other 3 costs is this Jogo, Cursed Spirit, and when played, choose up to one character in your opponent's front line, and it loses 1000 BP until the end of turn. So just pretty, not standard, but 3/1, -1k BP to one of your opponents, and that combos into your Raid Jogo, which I'll get to in a second. But first, let's go over the events. Domain expansion is our AP restander of the deck. And final trigger, our special trigger event is pretty different. It also coincides with this -1000 BP, because most cards on your opponent's front line will be 4k or less. This is what this effect does. Choose one character with 3000 or less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it, and then you may place 3 cards of your deck into your sideline. If Mahito is on your field and you sideline an opponent's character with this ability, play up to one character card with Transfigured Human affinity from your hand or your sideline set to active on your field. So sort of like this ability, but instead you are getting rid of an opponent's character to get a Transfigured Human out. So just much better. It's sideline event. And even on trigger, it's a sideline event. So really good card here, especially with the tech this deck is built for. I'm just now reading that it says you may place the top 3 cards of your deck into your sideline, and then it's a period. So I think you don't have to do that to get the rest of the effect, because it doesn't say if you do. It just says if Mahito is on your field, because maybe that I think I do this ability and always I trash the top 3, but I think there's an option for me just not to do that. Then our final event card is just, I'm just running 2 of these. Choose up to 1 character with 100 BP or less on your opponent's front line and sideline it. If Jogo is on your field, draw a card. So this is just a little bit extra removal. That's what I was trying to focus this deck in on, is the removal aspect. And you'll see once we get to this Geto and in our raids, but a lot of BP reduction. And if a card's BP reaches 0, it dies. It goes to the sideline. And so I was trying to focus in on that removal thing. So this is also is removal. This one's removal. It's Jogo's removal. These are BP reducers. This is a BP reducer, and this is a BP reducer. So it's about, or I was trying to do removal through BP reducing, but it's just a lot of steps to get that done. And so since we're there, let's talk about this Jogo. Simple, just raid when played. Choose up to 1 character with 3,000 or less BP on your opponent's front line and sideline it. So literally the same effect as the purple Kimberly, but the Kimberly had the extra effect of trashing or removing the Philosopher's Stone from your sideline to get impact. That was his secondary effect. So this just has that first part effect of that Kimberly. So like I said, you can use this ability. If this is on your field, then you wouldn't lose an energy generation, but use this ability to reduce something by 1k, raid this Jogo in, KO it. So that's a form of removal. And then you can even, if you have the energy generation to play this Jogo, reduce something by 1,000, play this on top of that Jogo, KO it. So that's a form of removal in this deck. This Geto, it's not, I don't want to say bad. I just didn't get a real good chance to play him in the 2 games that I played. Maybe if I got more testing, this could work, but I think what I really need is to just rebuild the deck. If I want to use this effect, rebuild the deck that it prioritizes getting this ability off, because it's not a bad ability. So he's a 4 energy 2 action point, which is pretty expensive because he doesn't come in active. But 4 energy 2 action point, impact 1. And then when played, you may sideline 1 other character on your field, and then activate main if on the front line once per turn. You can activate this ability only if a character on your field has been sidelined this turn. Your opponent sidelines 1 character from their field. And so the idea is behind this card is using this ability. The ability that he sidelines himself, so then I'll be able to activate this main ability every time that this card sidelines himself, and I can also replay this from my sideline with cards like this Mahito, and grab him back from my sideline with this Mahito, to continuously replay this transfigured person and even this event here. So just recycling this transfigured person over and over again with this Geto on the board, you just remove a body. And I don't know, because I didn't get to test it, I need to look up whether or not this counts as targeting an opponent, because there are a lot of cards that I've gone up against. No, I shouldn't say a lot. There's a couple cards that I can call out that says if you cannot target this card with an ability or effect unless you pay an extra AP, or some cards are just you can't target this card with ability or effect at all. But this says your opponent sidelines 1 character from their field. So technically it's not targeting. So I wonder if I were to clear the board of everything and then force them to remove a body, does that still count? Let me just see. because I know this, yeah, this one says it. So your opponent cannot choose the, yeah, so it says you cannot choose this character with abilities. But technically it won't be me choosing. So I wonder if that get past this effect. And the same thing with, I need to look at, how do I get out of JJK? I need to get out of JJK. Release me. Release me. Because I need to look up. Good Lord, why can't I find how to get out of JJK? Let's just hit this for now. One Punch Man, because this is what I've seen the most and what I was talking about. Let's look at a Saitama. Yeah, this character cannot be removed from the field by your, okay, so I think this means that I cannot remove him no matter what. Yeah, this character is played active, must attack if able to. Yeah, cannot be removed by any abilities. So I do believe that he can still get around that. But the other effects that are like, you cannot target this, I think that's different. But yeah, let me load this deck back up. So yeah, maybe not the Saitamas, but cards like you can't target this card with an ability. It might get around that, but don't quote me on that because I'm not completely sure. If any of you guys know, please let me know in the comments. All right, finally, our last two raid targets in this deck is Mahito's. There's two of them. This one is 4 energy, 1 action point, raid Mahito. When played, choose up to one character on your opponent's front line and it loses 2500 BP until the end of turn. And then add up to one transfigured human affinity card or self-embodiment of perfection card from your sideline to your hand. Now that's a card that I am not running in this deck. But we can go over it. It is an event card. I forgot why I'm not running it. Self-embodiment, where are you at? Oh, it's a site, that's why. Site. Yeah, it says once per turn, when a Mahito on your field attacks, you may sideline one character other than Mahito. If you do, play up to one transfer humans. Yeah. So I'm not running this for two reasons. This sidelining your own character effects is not that strong to just get one, or especially this transfigure human. Maybe if I was playing the Junpei, this could be worth it, and I fully built this in the way of Mahito. This could be worth it, but it's a site, so it has to go in your energy line, and it doesn't generate energy. Sure, you can use the or if you leave this Mahito on your energy line, you get the energy back, but it'll be in the attack phase, so it wouldn't be, you know, exactly what you want. And you run out of targets to hit because you can't hit your Mahitos to use this effect. So I'm not running that site. I really don't think that site is that good. Maybe even if I did like fully build out towards Mahito, I probably still wouldn't run that site because I'm already trashing bodies from my energy line. I wouldn't want a card on my energy line that doesn't generate energy. But yeah, so I'm not really looking for that for my silent to my hand. But I am trying to revive these transfigured persons and play them out to set up for the next turn. So yeah, using this effect to reduce BP. If you can remove a body, then use it to remove a body, and then grab this from your trash and set that back to your energy line, ready for next turn to get Jogo, or if you have this set up to, or even if you don't have this set up, to use the ability so that you can use the Geto's ability. Alright, finally, our last card is this Mahito. It's a 5 energy, 1 action point raid Mahito. When played, you may sideline 2 characters on your field other than Mahito. You cannot sideline characters with the same card name with this ability. If you sideline 2 characters with this ability, draw 2 cards and choose 1 character on your opponent's front line. It loses 4000 BP until the end of turn. This card is not good. I wanted to sugarcoat it, but I honestly can't. There's too many, uh, I guess, what's the word? Restrictions. You have to sideline 2 characters on your field that is not Mahito, and those 2 characters cannot have the same name. So you can't sideline 2 of your searchers. You can't sideline this Jogo and this Jogo because they have the same name. You can't sideline any of these Mahitos. And you're sidelining 2, so you're either losing an attacker on your front line in your main phase or your energy generation. I knew this going in, so I only ran 2 of these because I was like, well, it does reduce by 4,000, so that is removal, like how I've been trying to build. So maybe just at the end game this can be good. But yeah, no, at the end game, you've already trashed so much or so many other characters with your effects that you really have a board full of Mahitos, and then you can't trash anything. So it's I don't know where this card is supposed to go. But yeah, that's the deck list, and let's hop into the games we have for you today. Excuse me. This is also a deck that I saw in my local, somebody was telling me about, and they did also say that the deck was bad. And like just like the Full Metal Alchemist deck, the yellow one that people warned me was bad. I believed them, but I had to try for myself, and now I believe them even more. But we're going up against a yellow One Punch Man deck, or Saitama deck. So it's another one of those, or this is one I wanted to test the Geto's ability, but it wasn't really possible. They get active, start swinging early, as they should. Oh right, one more thing. This deck has 38 triggers, dog. This is not how I like to play this game. There's so many cards in here with no triggers that just goes to the sideline, and I can't use, like this Mahito and this Jogo. This transfigured person isn't too bad because I can get them out of my sideline, but these 2 I want in my hand all the time. And if I can't get it in my hand, I would rather get a draw trigger, an active trigger, or something. But no, I'm just short on triggers with those 3 cards. Wrong tab. But yeah, I get a non-trigger transfigured person, and because they got aggressive, I play this to the energy line, and then I realized that I have to sideline a character, which sucks. So now I'm down energy generation to do this search, search top 6, and I mess up here as well. So I add these to the hand, add this, or add my raid to the hand, and another Mahito's in, and I automatically go to bottom deck. I'm supposed to sideline the rest of these cards, but this is what I was talking about, where I searched up with the Geto and I could not pick up what I actually wanted, which would have been my next draw anyway, so that sucks even more. But yeah, and then the rest of these just get sidelined. And then when I realized my mistake, I let my opponent know, and then I asked him if he's cool with just me sidelining the top 4. So that's what I do. I just sideline the next 4 from my deck because I couldn't grab them from the bottom of my deck. And then I play this Geto to the energy line without the ability, or without using the ability, so that I can actually get some energy generation. Next turn, it's probably going to be this Mahito to grab out the transfigured person, and from there I actually don't know, because I want to save this Jogo in hand for his removal effect. I'm praying that I draw into a Jogo the next turn, but don't have him in the hand right now. I do have the removal event in my hand though. So I have to take these 2 damages, and yep, there's one of the Jogos that I needed that goes to my trash, and then another Jogo that I needed that goes to my trash. But I draw one. Thank the Lords that I draw one. But yeah, I can do this now to Oh no, I just get the energy generation. Do I cheat here? Did I cheat here? I played this Jogo. Let's see what I do. I might have cheated here. Okay, no, I didn't. Okay, yeah, so I raid this in. And I think I just use him as removal to get rid of that whatchamacallit, and then grab this transfigured person and play him to the energy line and set up for my Jogo next turn. Now I'm just going to attack with 4K, but I'm already down 3 life. They just got another raid into their hand, so I'm glad I sidelined that base Genos, because that would have been unfortunate. Now they have to play another one on their phase, and they actually get this Saitama out. Damage 2, and then activate main. He can trash another Saitama from hand to give him impact. This sucks because I have to block here. If I don't block there, I'm taking 2 damage and then still have to get out of 1 more attack. And if I were to not block them all, I would have been down to 1 health to their 6. So I sort of have to block the 2 damage here and just take the 1 to hopefully stall out this game a little bit more. But unfortunately, I do not. They get a final trigger early. So okay, I don't cheat. Good job, Donovan. So I move that Mahito to the front line. I play this Mahito to my energy line. This is the one to revive a transfigured person. Play this to the front line. And then use this transfigured person effect to rest and sideline to -1 there. And then he gets the generation bonus, the energy generation bonus now. And then I can play this as a raid. Yeah, play this as a raid to KO him. I was checking his ability to see what he could do. And it was playing out another Genos. And instead, this kind of sucks for me. So I'm actually debating on. Okay, so I do this. So I sideline this to place to the energy line. I'm debating on whether or not I want to use the transfigured person right now, because he does have. Okay, I have to do that sideline to get the transfigured person, I believe. Unless I was misreading that card as well. Let me check. For this effect, it is if you do, you may. Yeah, it says you may. So I don't know. Maybe I don't have to do that every time, because it's you may and then period. So maybe the may is like to find a transfigured person. So maybe I don't have to trash the top 3, because I lost what did I lose? I lost a Jogo. Yeah. So I use this effect, trash the top 3. I lose a transfigured person, a raid Mahito, and a Jogo. So I wonder what the ruling is on that. So yeah, I see he has plus 1,000 BP. So I'm debating on whether or not using this, but if I do, I lose my energy generation, and not that I couldn't rebuild it in the next turn, but I do think it would have been wasted there, because he more than likely would have just taken the damage anyway, because he has such a life lead. They get a special trigger anyway, sidelining my Mahito, which is really unfortunate. But you know, it is what it is. This game gonna do what the game gonna do. They get out another Saitama. This one is when played. They sideline one of my bodies. So now it's just GG's, because they have a double damager. Though they have a full board, I only have 3 life. They do a bunch of stuff that doesn't matter. Attack in with the double damage first, just in case of final triggers. I don't get either. I get the raid trigger, but this Mahito actually doesn't have the extra energy generation, so can't use it anyways, and nor does it matter, because I'll just take this and die. So GG's to my opponent here. It's unfortunate how this deck works. Maybe I am playing it wrong. Maybe the may means you can if you want to, but I'm not completely sure on it. So for game 2, we're going up against a Black Clover deck, I believe. And this deck it's closer than the last game, but at the same time, it's mostly because he wasn't really trying to build to kill me. This deck is more of a self-mill deck to win the game. He does beat me by life pool, but at least I was getting what I was looking for in this deck, which is the high removal. So I have movement phase, and I have enough to, I'm trying to plan on my turn. I am not in 2 times speed, so I'm trying to plan on my turn, so I get to move this up for some early aggression, play out a Jogo to replace it, and this Mahito to the energy line. This is a much better start than last turn, having 2 Jogos on the board, and this energy generating Mahito for when I lose a body on my field. At least their energy will be replaced for the turn. I really wish this wasn't for the turn. I wish it was just in general, but it would kind of be crazy. So they play out this, whatever this name is, a 4K body. But this is exactly what I was talking about as to why I built this deck like so. So I play this to the energy line, and then I can set rested and sideline this card to -1K here, bringing them down to a 3K. This gains in energy generation now. And then I get to idle transfiguration because he's now at a 3K to sideline this card, which has a whole bunch of abilities, and good thing I don't got to worry about it because I just sideline him instantly. And then I can trash the top 3 and play this back to the energy line or front line. I believe I play this to the front line just so I can guarantee taking another life here because they can free block my Gojo. Excuse me. And this is another thing that I was talking about. Even if I did KO a body by reducing their bodies to 0, he would just be a 3000 and still would have been free blocked by her. So I think 3000 is just way too low for that much setup on these Gojo, or on these Jogos, I mean. But they push up their energy line to the front line, getting a bit aggressive here. And they also have their sight card here. So this sight card is what is their win condition. It is you move, I think, 5 cards from your sideline to your removal area, then draw 1 card and trash 1 card, I believe. You can only use that once per turn. That sight's ability once per turn. And then it also says if you end your attack phase with 0 cards in deck, and I think it's 4 or more unique whatever this clan type is on your board, or something else, then you win the game. But they attack in. I get my Gojo or Jogo raid. Maybe it was better for me to block out there with this transfigured person. But then again, I don't have the base Mahitos to raid these Mahitos in to get them back. I do have this ability to get them back. I believe that's not what this ability does. It's the other Mahito, double energy Mahito. That one that I just drew. But yeah, I don't know. I don't really know. It's a hard sell. because then I'll be losing 2 bodies on this turn. It's just really hard to calculate your plays when you're losing, or when you're planning on losing your own characters. So here I have the Raid Jogo, I have 2 Mahitos on the board, and I have 2 domain expansions. So I decide to go for this high removal here. So using this to remove here, he will go down to or that's a thousand BP anyway, so he gets sidelined. So he will actually gain 1,000 here. If I were to plan out better, I think at the start of this turn, I think the better play here would have been move this to the front line, trash him to trash him, and then he would have generated 2, putting me back up to 3. Then I could have played the Mahito out, and then I would have 2 3Ks on my front line, and then I can rate this Jogo in, or the play next is to trash this transfigured person to rate this Jogo in, and trash the their raid target here. I do something like that, but I could have got an extra swing in if I pushed this Jogo up. I just wasn't thinking about it in that way. I thought I needed him for his energy generation. But I sideline that to sideline that, and then I get my energy generation. And then even after that, I could have used my AP restanding. I would have had 4 energy, and then I could have raided this Mahito in, and then played out the transfigured, or added the transfigured human back to hand, played him back out, and then I would have been left with 3 energy on my energy line, which isn't, you know, the strongest, but at least I would have had all of, or I would have had more removal and more swings going into this turn. But I do it the wrong way. Write this in, I get to sideline his card now. And yeah, so now I want to domain expansion to raid in this Mahito, getting the transfigured human back to hand, and playing, using this as removal. I use this as removal, and then I get the transfigured human back to hand, and play this to the energy line, and then checking my effects. Attacking in for 4K, and attacking in for another 4K, and they take both. You get a draw trigger and a non-trigger card. And at this point, you know, I'm pretty proud of myself for thinking of that play. I think that's like the dream of how I wanted this deck to turn out. Just very, very high options for removal and value in removal. But they play this card out, and this just slows me down so much. It's a minus 1,000 BP for both his turn and my turn. And yeah, this messes me up a lot. They also get double AP restanding into a sideline event. So they sideline one of my cards, and they sideline the Mahito, and then swing in for 4. I don't have to take this, but I kind of do, because I don't want to lose my front line, because I really can't move anything off the front line. Yeah, so I AP draw here. I remove the BP, even though I shouldn't. My opponent reminds me in a second. Yeah, he reminds me. I'm double checking. So I actually have to go back and decrease this back 1,000. But from this position, I think this is a mistake. Yeah, so I play this Mahito unrated to the energy line, simply to generate the energy. I think the better play here is to play this Geto for 2 AP. AP restand, get 2 back, and then I can, yeah, I'll get 2 back, and then I can idle transfiguration. Oh, I can't idle transfiguration because nothing is 35 or 3,000 or less. Oh wait, no, I have transfigure person on the board. Okay. So I made a, this is a misplay here. I probably could have won this game. Could I have? I could have played this Geto to the energy line, generating 1 energy. Use this transfigured person to minus 3,000 here. Or minus 1,000 here, pushing this down to 3,000. Playing the AP restanding, getting 2 back. And then I could have played idle transfiguration to sideline this and then put the transfigured person back onto my board. And then I would have had 1 AP left. Oh, okay. Yeah, I could have done that and then used him again to remove or to minus 1,000 here, and then use my last AP for this Jogo and remove her. No. Oh, this deck is very hard to play. But there's a line here. I just gotta think it through. Give me a second, y'all. Because there is that I can use this transfigure person to minus 1,000 here, then use this Jogo to push him to the front line. Then it will be 2 Jogos in the front line, and they would have had 1 of these cards left. I would have had 2 life, so I wouldn't have lost because they can only push up 3 or swing 3 times, and I would have had 2 blockers because this is a site. So the Jogo there, and then in the next turn, well, no, because so that could have been a play. The other play was this Mahito, because with this transfigure person on my board, I would have had a Geto here as well. I would have been at 5. I could have rated out this Mahito, trashing the Jogo and the transfigured person to minus 4k to one of these. And then what else does he do? What else did he do? Please tell me I didn't tweak it too hard. I also draw 2 cards. Yeah, I would have drawn 2 cards and trashed 1. So yeah, there's options there. It still would have ended up the same way, I believe. That I ended, but at least I would have had the Geto on field. So then all I really would have needed to do is survive 1 more time and then use this transfigured person in the next turn once again, instead of going about it that way. Actually, wait, am I tweaking? I think I'm tweaking. Yeah, no, never mind. I couldn't do that at all. Oh wait, no, yeah, the idle transfiguration brings him back. Okay. Yeah, this is just juggling that my brain was not prepared for. Yeah. Dang, man. I definitely had a better play there. Because now I want to raid this in. And even if I do, or now I have to rate this in or use the transfigured person again. I think I decide to use the transfigured person again. Yeah. To arrest and sideline. To minus 3,000 to one of these, or minus 1,000 one of these, and then raid a Jogo in to remove it again. Yeah. Oh, when she gets sidelined, she replaces herself. I didn't know that. But I only get to, and this is another thing that slowed me down, the fact that he was minus 1,000 this turn. So I only got to swing once instead of twice. Yeah, man, that's just really unfortunate. Um, I still don't think I would have gotten. I think there's still no way for me to get a full board clear though. Was it? Yeah, no, it wasn't. Because I can only remove one body with my yeah. So they minus 1,000 again, which gives them the 2 swings they need. So they swing once here. I take it, hoping for something. It's a draw trigger. I can block here and block here. But yeah, because I did survive one more turn. So if I did it the other way around, I probably would have lost a Jogo, but I would have had this on the field, this on the field, a transfigured human on the field. I would have only had 2 energy, but then I could have played this Mahito, used the transfigured human. I would have went up to 4 energy and then raided this Mahito on top of it. Oh man, I'm gonna cry myself to sleep tonight. Okay. That's a lot of ifs and wins, but it is what it is. I didn't see the line and I paid the price for it. But yeah. So I rate this Mahito in, but now it's too late because I don't have any other targets to trash with it. Or I have to play this Geto first. I messed up. You have to play this Geto first because you have 5 energy. And then play this Mahito. But I don't get the effect. I mean, I could technically trash the Jogo and the Geto and get rid of their 4K body, but I still lose on the crackback. And then they just block out, draw a card, trash 1, and yeah, that's GG's from here. Their deck got extremely small too. They got down to 6. And yeah, they sideline a body, and then that's GG's. Attack in, I just take it, and GG's. So yeah, outside of that, that's a big misplay. Golly. Let me make sure I'm not tweaking. At the start of this turn, I'm gonna go over this again. I'm sorry. This should be a shorter video because only 2 games, but I'm really caught up on this play. So yeah, he stays minus 1,000, but I have 4 energy currently, so I should. Where did my AP go? Oh, I AP drew. Did I? No blocker. I take. Draw for turn. Yeah, AP drew. Okay. Yeah, I should have just made a play for what I had in hand. I think I was trying to find this Jogo. But yeah, because I AP drew, that messes it up. Because now at this point, I have to use the domain expansion now, and then play out this Geto, and then I'll have 1 energy left. And then I could do this and then auto transfiguration. Although, yeah, no. Yeah, I lost at that AP draw. Because if I didn't AP draw, I didn't even need the Jogo. I was thinking too forward about it. So if I didn't AP draw, it would have been play this Geto out. That would have been 2 AP, so I would have been down to 1. Domain expansion, go back up to 2. No, because that's a 4 cost. Yeah, so I do have to play him to the energy line, so I can't get his effect yet. So yeah, I have to play him to the energy line. Don't use his effect to trash a body. Then use domain expansion. And then use this transfigured person to minus 1,000 here. Idle transfiguration to trash this and get the transfigure person back as active. And then I could have used the transfigure person again and then raided this Mahito in, and then I could have fully trashed one of these. Yeah, and then I wouldn't even have to lose the Jogo. Man, there's so many plays that I just messed up on this turn. And then I would have survived into the next turn, and they were on yeah, because I survived this turn, right? Yeah. So at this turn, I would have had, they would have sidelined my Mahito raid like they did before, or whichever one of the raids as they did before. So this would have still been my front line, but on my energy line, it would have been this Mahito, a Geto. The transfigured person would not have been there though. I would have drawn into what? I would have drawn into the raid Jogo that I AP drew into. But I would have to start going for game. So I think the play then would have been moving this Geto to the front line. That would have left me with 2 energy on the board. I could have played 1 with this Geto, played this raid out raw for 1. That would have put me back up to 4. And then I could have used this Mahito to trash this Geto and the Gojo, minus 4k to here. Well, no, because this is just a win played. God, I wish I played this so terribly. Oh yeah, I'm gonna have nightmares. Anyways, that's gonna be it. That gives me hope for this deck. Low key, that gives me hope for this deck. Maybe I just need a little bit more practice. If I got a third game in, maybe I could have got a win out of it. But that's it for the games today. Let's actually talk about the deck changes. So there's 2 ways you can iron out this deck. It is to full focus on this Geto, excuse me, and this Geto combo here. Let me remove use. The unfortunate thing is he doesn't have a special trigger of his own, or special event of his own. You sort of need to keep this in, which isn't too bad because then I just won't trash from my deck. I can still sideline cards, so maybe it's not too bad. But if I go full on build this out, keep this, only a character on my field has been sidelined. Unfortunately, I can't use this card either, this Junpei, at least for this effect, because it's at the end of my main phase, and this is an activate main, so it doesn't combo in with that. But this would go into, or I would put this into the Mahito deck. But I'll talk about that in a second. But for now, let's just keep looking. There's one. Yeah, these cards here. This Dagon. And let me look at this real quick. let me just pause the recording. Okay, so made a couple changes. This is how I would build this deck out. Focused more on this Geto card. I upped him up to 4 of. Oh Lord. And I've also added in more of these Curse Spirits. So, right, I say more, but really only these 3 Dagon cards. This Dagon card, one sideline draw card. So you can use this off of, this ability, this one played ability, this one played ability, these activate main abilities, and it also will proc your Sudaro Geto. This one sideline, place the top 2 cards from your deck into your sideline. Don't really want to be using this ability as much, but he is a 0 cost, and that's what this deck is lacking. Only running 6. I do want to up this somehow. If I were to, it'll actually, let me just up that and down one of these, and no, because that's my raid target. Probably 2 of these. Yeah, because we're only running 2 0 costs. But there's a reason for these Dagons. One, I wouldn't mind trashing these cards with my Mahito effects to either get the buff or replay out the Transfigured Human. I left the Transfigured Human left in here so that I can get the sidelining on my end whenever he's active, and also the loss of 1,000 BP for this Jogo. But also this Dagon raid, I didn't put this in because it's a raid, but it's only 3,000 BP. But it says you may place 1 card from your hand into your sideline. If you do, play up to 1 purple character with 2 or less energy required from your sideline resting onto your field. The when played abilities on this character do not activate. Now that says purple character, so that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 targets in this deck. But mostly it is a pseudo Mahito to get this transfigured person back from your sideline onto your field, so you can either set them up for next turn or even instantly re-sideline them with this effect to give a buff or something. So yeah, that's why I threw these Dagons in, and they also have their own sideline effects that at least give me some sort of bonus outside of this one. I actually don't think this is too much of a bonus. This is more of just the raid target. But this one at least lets me draw a card for losing a body on the board, alongside the other effects that I get from sidelining my own characters. And because I have more options in this deck with the card names, I put 2 of these Mahitos in. This is more of a game closer, so I don't want to see him too often, and I won't use him too often, but when I need him at the game close, I can reduce the character by 4,000 BP, which for most cards is just straight up removal when I sideline 2 of my own bodies. So that being said, that is how I would build this, or that's how I would build it focused on this Geto. Still removing with this Jogo ability, and with this idle transfiguration ability, and then activate main on this Geto to remove another body. So that's 3 different cards of removal that I can get, or I can get the effects of all on one turn. It just takes a little bit of setup. Now give me a second to build a Mahito version. Okay, and this is more or less how I would build a Mahito focused version of this deck. I still don't think this is, the strongest. The only changes I made were these Junpeis, so at least I have an extra target. Oh, where is my? Oh no, it's right here. Because this Junpei here counts as a transfigured human, so I can replay him or grab him from my trash with these, or with this Mahito effect, or this Mahito effect, and this idle transfiguration effect. But he is only a vanilla 2500, so at least he's an attacker. if you want to get a little bit active with them. But outside of that, it's replayable for the sake of trashing them with your effects, to buff the rest of your board, or you know, to replace them with one of these in your trash. And using this, I'm still only running these at a 2 of, because I do think that, oh wait a minute, I have this backwards. It's supposed to be like this. This is a 4 of, the minus 2500 BP, because that's just free, and then you can add something from your trash to your hand. But this is just still a bit expensive for a deck like this, or for this game. I feel like, where you're trashing 2 cards to remove essentially 1. But yeah, this Junpei here is switch to resting, and this character gains energy generation until the end of turn. At the end of the main phase, sideline this character. So this is important for this deck, because you can use this to generate 2, and then use one of your Mahito effects to trash him before the main phase ends, sort of getting all the energy you need out of him. And he'll still be sidelined in anyway, but at least you can get more of a benefit over him sidelining himself for no gain. So yeah, so let's any of these Mahitos to trash himself. And then this Dagon, I'm only running a 2 of and a 3 of the draw card ones, just for a bit more recursion, especially if I end up sidelining one of, like this Mahito, or any of these that I want on the board instead, to bring them back to the board. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video today. I really hope this wasn't too long of a video. I think it's because I molded 2 decks together, and I wasn't probably supposed to do that, but that's what my brain went to. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed it. If you have deck list or deck ideas for this, please let me know in the comments. Leave a like if you liked the video, and support your local card shops. I will see you all on the next one. Goodbye.
俺の財宝か。今日からダメだ。欲しけりゃくれてやる。探せ。この世のすべてをそこに置いてきた。